Welcome to the Reece Report. I am Andrew Reece. We are very happy to bring to you episode 7. I have a very special new guest on my show today, someone who has been requested by people on my page. I finally got him. It only took me 2 weeks. I had to go find him in the cave where Brett Favre's staying somewhere, okay? But there's his cave, and there he is. Mr. Gil Santos, how are you?
Good, I'm good. And how are you?
I'm good. Now, for today's purposes, we're going to call you Gil Bay since we're talking about your team today. And we also have our returning guest, Jose. Now, Jose is on the road here, but he's still with us. You know, he's still joining us because he's committed to the show, you know? Okay? Of course. So today, on this great show, we are going to talk about Gil's Packers. This is his team. He's a fan of the Green Bay Packers. We're going to talk about his team and Aaron Rodgers. We're going to get into a preview of the NHL playoffs that will be starting in a week's time. For my Penguins, it will be starting on Saturday. For the Leafs, it starts on Thursday. Gil's team, the Devils, are in a rebuilding phase, so they're out right now. As you can see in the background, he's a Devils fan. Look at his background. You can tell, okay? And then we will give you our Stanley Cup predictions. So we will start with, and you can find these guys on Facebook. They're not really into Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. So you just got to look their names up on Facebook, okay? And then you can check them out. So we are going to start with Aaron Rodgers. That's right. And the Green Bay Packers. That's Gil's team. Me and Jose have already talked about the diva that is Aaron Rodgers. So now we're going to ask Gil Santos, what is going on with Aaron Rodgers and your team and your GM and all this drama that's happened since the draft?
Oh yeah, well that's what he's upset about. It's not about the contract extensions or anything. It's more about the GM, Brian Gerstenhauer there. You know, and like he said, you know, it was all after one another. Rodgers just wants a little more say in the team. He wants the decisions to be more with him, at least knowing what's going on with the team. And he felt disrespected, and you know, more of the GM personnel than anything. It's not really the president or anything. It's more the GM. And you know, like little things like September 3rd, 2020, he went on press conference, said Joe Camero was going to be a great receiver. September 4th, what does the GM do? Cut him, right? So it's like little things like that. And then the Jordan Love situation. Yes, I do feel like he's a little baby about it. Like he's becoming, you know, because the same situation, the organization feels he is getting old. They felt like drafting Jordan Love to stay behind 3-4 years under the system for him to learn, not to kick him out. So I think he took that in a wrong perspective. But yes, and you know, now with Watson happening in Houston and stuff, you know, like it's getting a little out of control where the players feel like they own. At the end of the day, they're the owners. They get paid. They're paid to play, not to decide who they draft, not to decide who's going to run the ball. They signed the contract, deal with it, right? You shouldn't have signed it. They're there to play. They're not there to do business, right? So I feel, you know, but I get his point of view. He wanted the wide receiver. He wants help. He stashed 3 years in his contract. Is he going to sit out? That's up to him. I don't know. But as an owner, you know, you shouldn't feel like you need to budge just because fans and, you know, you got to do. Business is business. Mm-hmm. The Packers, they've been great since Favre left. Rodgers just stepped in like nothing happened. Packers just kept going to playoffs, you know, won that Super Bowl against the Steelers. You remember, you were with me, actually.
I was with you.
I was so drunk that I was so happy
and
drunk that I ate a plate of cheese on my wife's back. Remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so
everyone was there.
And from that moment on, I felt like he was going to be the real deal for Green Bay, and almost like a Tom Brady. Not as good as Brady, but he's great as well. Mm-hmm. I thought he would have won more Super Bowls by now, yes. But great guy, you know, easygoing. You know, he loves Jeopardy. So I don't know. Like,
does it bother you, Gil, that it's never his fault and it's always somebody else?
Well,
Like last year, it was all the coach's fault. He missed 3 chances in the at the 10-yard line. He had a chance to run the ball in the end zone. He had the game at home. Brady gave him 3 extra opportunities to win the game. Brady didn't have his best game. He had every opportunity to win that game and didn't win that game, and all they wanted to do was blame the coach.
Correct. So we sometimes watch the games and we only see the ending of it. But where the game was lost was the interception. And then with 3 seconds left, the long bomb into the end zone. That was 14 points the other way.
Yep.
They start the second half. They lose the ball again. And Tampa Bay, in a span of 2 minutes, had 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Yes, the Packers came back and made a game of it. But to me, that was a turning point, not the last 2 minutes.
Right.
Last 2 minutes, it is what it is. It's a 50-50, whatever you decide. The coach decided the field goal. Rodgers was upset about it. But once again, the coach is there to get paid to make the decisions. Mm-hmm. But in the timeout, maybe they both should have talked about it. Maybe Rodgers didn't look convincing. Mm-hmm. The way the Packers defense was playing, I would have went for it because they weren't really stopping Tampa Bay at the time. Mm-hmm. So my decision as a coach, I would have went for it only because based off the defense was actually not playing well. So that's, but like I said, Rodgers is I think being a little too sensitive, but everybody to himself, right?
Yeah. So does Rodgers stay?
Does Rodgers stay? That's a very good question. I feel that he will stay. I believe the Packers will not trade him.
Okay.
If everything does go sour, I think the Packers are going to just let him sit out.
Interesting.
I don't see the Packers really, unless someone gives them a first rounder. But I mean, like a first pick overall, which is not going to happen.
Right.
So if he plays or if it goes sour, I just think he's going to sit out.
Okay, well there you have it from Gil, guys. That's the Packers situation. It's pretty cut and dry what's going to happen. I think he stays. I think they're going to give him a bushload of money and he's going to stay. I don't think he has it as bad as he lets it on. I think the Green Bay Packers have a good team. He has a great left tackle. He's got a number 1 receiver. He's got a great running back. I mean, he has help. So I don't think his situation gets better by leaving. So I think he stays, and I think this is just a bunch of drama that's going to go away by the time the season starts. Jose, you got anything to add?
I agree.
I think he gets traded.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. I believe he gets they don't really get together. I think he gets traded, and from what I hear, Denver's been offering him really good deals. So I think if he doesn't stay in Green Bay, then he gets dealt. I don't think he's gonna sit out and stuff like that. I think
he's not gonna host Jeopardy.
No, I don't think so. I think he'll get traded and he'll go to probably like an AFC team or something like that. He won't stay in the NFC, that's for sure. That's my opinion.
We will see what happens with the Rodgers situation. Great take, Skill. Thank you very much. Now we are gonna, segue into the NHL. Jose, your Toronto Maple Leafs won their first division title in 21 years.
Yeah, that's because they're not playing Tampa Bay and Boston.
That's right. Thank you for making my point for me. They took out the 2 best teams and they won the division. Thank you very much. That's exactly what I was going to say. Okay. So as a reward, you get the absolutely horrible Montreal Canadiens in the first round.
Yeah.
My question to you is this. The Leafs have their troubles on the power play. They are well documented. It could cost them in the playoffs. But the real question is this. And I'm going to go to Gil for this first since he's a goaltender and former GM. Who are you starting in net, Gil? Jack Campbell or Freddie Anderson? Game 1.
You got to go with Campbell. Campbell has been playing hot. He's been good. I've actually liked Campbell from the beginning when the Leafs got him. I was even saying trade Anderson. Campbell, even with LA there with Quick, he showed a lot of stuff. He's 17-2.
Yeah.
His save percentage is 9.23, I believe, something like that. It's crazy high.
Yep.
So he's keeping the puck out of the net. So there's no reason to even change, if you're going to go down to loyalty. But, if you're trying to win a cup, which they haven't, like Toronto has never won nothing like this.
Yeah.
So, since 67. So I don't know. But goaltending is very important in hockey. And like we don't have the Brodeurs, the Patrick Roys, those Dominic Hasek's, where they would steal you a series, and those goalies can actually steal you a cup, right? To where in today's hockey, we don't have no goaltender that can steal you a cup. Most of them can't even steal you a series. So the goaltending of we have great goaltenders, but not amazing. There's not that guy that stands out, right? So which we had in the early, the millennium. So
sorry, Gil.
No, I'm just saying that's what I feel. Goaltending is very important. But if I'm Toronto, I start Campbell.
Jose, who would you start, and what are your concerns about your Leafs going into the playoffs?
I start Campbell first 2 games of the series. See how it goes. If they're 0-2, then you go for Freddie game 3, because then you got to go with the guy. If Campbell doesn't impress you in the first 2 games, and if he doesn't win you a game, then you got to go with Freddie for game 3. But the first 2 games, you give it to Campbell. Campbell's deserved it. He's been playing well. He got to the Leafs record to where they are is with him in net. So you give it to him. But then the Leafs, my problem with the Leafs is the injuries with Foligno, Hyman. Foligno came back yesterday, but it's I don't know what the hell happened to him.
He's not exactly Jeff Carter for my Penguins.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's not Jeff Carter. But then again, we don't need him to be a Jeff Carter. We don't need him to score a lot of goals. You know what I mean? We just need him to play with Austin Matthews or with the Tavares line. Just set him up. Do that grinding styles hockey. That's what wins championships in the playoffs. You need him to be
Gil's version of Claude Lemieux.
Yeah, exactly. We need a guy like that, or even for example, a Hagelin and Kessel line or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what you need. It's not the first 2 lines that are gonna win you the cup most of the times. It's the 3rd line, it's the 4th line. If they can chip in and stuff like that, that's a bonus, right? So to me, it's gonna be how these guys. And also to me, what's worrying me about is Montreal. People are underestimating Montreal, but people forget that Montreal has Carey Price in that. And Carey Price is a goalie that can steal you a series. And you know what I mean? And they also
Carey
have
Price
a lot
may not play, Jose. He's got a concussion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's if he plays. Yeah. If all the guys that are injured in Montreal, and if they end up coming back for the playoffs, watch out with Montreal. Montreal, lately, they've been struggling, but that's because they have a lot of injuries. And a lot of the best players are all injured. But at a full, healthy team, last year, look what they did to your Pens.
Yeah,
they took them out in the first round. It's not.
It won't be easy for the Leafs.
It won't be easy. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, nothing is easy with the Leafs, though.
No, exactly. And then once the playoffs start, and if Campbell lets in a soft goal, everybody's gonna be up his ass 24/7. You know how it is, man. Leafs fans are too harsh sometimes, but it is what it is. We haven't won a cup in the longest time, so we want to at least make it to the second round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think Campbell's going to benefit from no crowd. I think that's going to help.
Of course.
I would not start Freddie Anderson at all. I would treat Campbell as your number 1 and only take him out if he's a complete disaster in that. Look, the Freddie Anderson story has been written. This guy's been awful in the playoffs. He hasn't come up with the big save. He lets that goal between the legs every year, that weak goal. He's lost every game 7 he's been in his entire career. You've got to take a chance and go with a guy that's 17-2. Now, granted, Campbell's never played in the playoffs, but I think you have to start him. You can't go to Freddie Anderson. He just came back yesterday. He looked shaky against Ottawa. He has not had a good season, even when healthy. I think you have to go with Campbell and take your chances.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got to go with Campbell. But like you said, if Campbell struggles the first 2 games, you got to go with Freddie, at least game 3. You can't stay.
He would have to be terrible, though. Like, he'd have to be really garbage,
absolutely,
right? Absolutely. Yeah. If they lose 2-1 twice, you're not going to take Campbell out of the net.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Well, you gotta give a chance. You gotta take a chance on the hot goalie, because look what Pat Burns with the Leafs in '93. Like, Grant Fuhr was supposed to be their guy. He got injured. In came the kid, and he put everything on the kid. Then there goes Potvin, and Potvin became Potvin.
Just look at Dallas last year. They put in a career journeyman in net named what's his name? Habib Bulin. No, not Habib Bulin.
Hudobin.
And they got to the
Hudobin,
cup
yeah.
final. Like,
Yes.
look, like Gil said, there's no dominant goalies anymore. Every team seems to have two goalies now.
Yes.
There's backups that can come out of nowhere. But Gil's favorite goalie there, the ball hockey goalie, Tim Thomas, won a Conn Smythe.
With that weird helmet, that guy was really weird.
So there you go, right? Even John Sebastian Giguere, out of nowhere, won a Conn Smythe playing against Gil's Devils. So
Well, but the Devils won the cup, though. That's
correct. So anything can happen. Look, one of the teams I'm going to pick, which we're going to get into, is going to have a backup goalie that just became a starter in net that could win the Vezina this year. So, hey, there's no dominant goalies right now. Vasilevsky's the closest thing we have. He's pretty good. He's elite, but he's not like Patrick Waugh. So
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's no dominant goalies anymore. Like, the Patrick Waughs, the Brodeurs, the Haseks, Belfour, Joseph. There's no more, right? So.
Okay, having said that, we will now get to my Pittsburgh Penguins. That's right. They're back. Everybody thought they were done, and they go win the toughest division in hockey. That's right. And they do it without Evgeny Malkin for most of the season, because this man right here, I don't know if you guys can see it in the background there. That's right. The 33-year-old man had an MVP season. And around him, a very amount of good players surprised and had great seasons. The Penguins' defense was better than I thought it would be. The goaltending got better as the year went along. And they got huge seasons from Jared McCann and Brian Rust. And then they made the trade of the deadline. I don't care what anyone says. Okay, Taylor Hall has had a great run for Boston, but that was expected. Jeff Carter scoring 8 goals in 14 games was not expected. He's completed now a great third line for them with Jared McCann and either Freddie Goudreau, the ex-Leaf, or somebody else that they've mixed in. So now they have 3 solid lines. I think they're going to kill the Islanders in the first round. That's a revenge series if I've ever seen one. And then after that, it's Washington or Boston. What do you guys think of my Penguins? What do you guys think?
I think they're good, but it's going to be a tough series against the Islanders. I'll tell you right now. It's not going to be. Yep. It's not going to. I think it's going to go to at least 7 games.
I'd say 6. Yeah.
It's not going to be.
The Penguins only lost 4 home games this year, and they haven't lost to the Islanders. So it's.
But Islanders come playoff more. They watch them do what they did last year. Like they going all the way. They play
like the Devils.
Yeah, they play that the defensive style hockey and stuff like that, and when it comes to push to shove, I don't know, man. It's going to be a tough series. Do I agree with you? Yeah, Pittsburgh does have a better team than the Islanders, but it's going to be a tough series. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be
for sure.
Series.
Look, we got our defense is very shaky, and the goaltending is unpredictable. So look, there's no sure thing for my team. They've had a very surprising season of a season that most people thought would be the end of the era, but they've pulled through and had a great year. Gil, what do you think of the Penguins?
Well, I think they'll do well. They should pass the first round. We'll see after, the Washington-Boston might be a different story.
Yes.
But Pittsburgh did finish the season strong. I believe last out of 10 they were 8-2, I believe.
Yeah.
And, and Tristan Jarry actually stepped up because Pittsburgh for a while they didn't know who to put in it.
That's right.
And Tristan Jarry actually stepped up there at the end, the last 15 games, actually. He has 25 wins.
Mm-hmm.
His save percentage, I believe, was over 9, so that's a good number. Anything over 9 is okay, right? So going into the playoffs, he's their guy. Crosby's Crosby, right? And hopefully Malkin wakes up.
Yeah, he just came back. He's only played like his second game, I think, or 2 games since he's come back, so. Yeah,
so he might go in a little rusty. That might hurt them a little bit. But like you also said, their defense has been playing much better.
Yeah.
But if you come down to it, when it gets down to the Washington, and then even out of the other side, Florida's been playing great too. They finished 8-2 as well as their last 10 games. So Florida's starting to step up. I feel Carolina won the Central, but Carolina to me is a team that's just it's just not
you just
there.
Don't like Carolina. I know you just don't like them.
The Carolinas, the Floridas,
they have a goaltender in Carolina that it could win the Calder, but he won't. But that's what's push them to where they are. So I can't pronounce his name. He's a Finnish goalie, but he's been great for them.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's helped them. Tampa Bay still Tampa Bay. So who do you guys got to win? Let's go Stanley Cup finalists. Unless you want to do Final Four. You guys want to do Final Four and then your finalist and then who wins?
Sure.
All right. Well, you guys are going to love this. I'll start off. You're going to love this. Yeah, you're going to be shocked by what I'm about to say. I'm picking the Leafs to make the conference final, and they will play my Penguins in the conference final. That's right. That's what I'm picking. In the other conference, I'm going to pick Colorado to get to the semis, and they will play Tampa Bay. That's what I'm predicting. What do you guys got? And then after that, I got Colorado playing Pittsburgh in the final, and surprisingly, I'm going to pick Colorado to win the cup.
Oh yeah, that's interesting because short story, I had Colorado as well to win the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
there's a little bit of a Jonathan Miller feel good pick. There's a shout out to Jonathan Miller, rest in peace. Yes. I'm picking Colorado for you, buddy, over my team. Okay, that's how much I believe your team's gonna win. I'm picking Colorado over my team for you, buddy. Okay, Manchester United almost did it, but Colorado's gonna do it for you. What do you think, Gil?
I think Colorado's gonna win too.
Oh wow!
I had Colorado and Tampa as well. Mm-hmm. And I had Edmonton and Boston.
Wow, Edmonton and Boston. That's a surprise. Okay,
yes.
There you go. Wow,
I like the way Edmonton finished the season. So
okay, who gets to the final, Edmonton or Boston?
It was Edmonton.
You got Edmonton playing Colorado. What a series that would be.
Yes.
Jose?
I just think McDavid steps up this year. I think this is
they got to get by Toronto. They struggled mightily against Toronto this year. And
Toronto to me in the playoffs, they just
hey, I agree with you.
Their knees buckle. They tremble. It's going to be the same as the same.
I can't believe I'm picking them to get by 2 rounds. But I just look at that weak division and I say they've got to do it this year. They never will. But Edmonton and Toronto in the second round, I can't wait. Jose, who do you got?
I got Leafs and Washington.
Wow. Okay.
And then I got Vegas and Tampa Bay.
Vegas and Tampa Bay. Okay. Who's your finalists?
And it's going to be a Vegas and Leafs final.
Oh my God. And who do you got in the final? Who do you got winning?
I got Vegas winning though.
Oh, I got Vegas winning. Oh yes. Oh my. Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Marc-Andre Fleury?
Yes,
Robin
sir.
Leonard?
Marc-Andre Fleury. I'm telling you right now, he's good. This is his redemption from last year for sitting his ass on the bench and putting Leonard in the playoffs.
They may still start Leonard.
No, absolutely not. If they start Leonard, that'll be a disappointment. After what Fleury, his numbers that he put up in the season this year for him, and Leonard is not the same player as he was last year. And I think defensively they're solid. With the pickup of Peter Angelo and stuff like that, I think they're ready to make that big playoff push and go for that cup, and they already have the experience of making it to the finals. You know what I mean? So it's not, and I'll tell you why I think the Leafs will make it all the way to the finals is that because of this year. It has to be because if it's not this year, they will never ever gonna make it to the playoffs to the finals again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And they need this playoff run because if not, then this shit's gonna get all blown up, and guys are gonna be fired and guys are gonna be traded and stuff like that because if you can't get it done this year, then you're never gonna get it done. Especially back next year when the conferences are going to get back to the teams are going to get back to their old conferences with Tampa Bay's and Boston's and Carolina's playing the way they are and Florida too. Their upcoming team. Oh no, man, it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder and harder to make the playoffs and to win it, man.
Yeah, I think for Colorado, if Grubauer stays healthy, they make the final and win. That's the only thing that stopped them last year.
Yeah, that's just their goalies. I don't think they have any goalies to make that playoff run to Colorado. That's the problem. That's what I'm thinking.
Grubauer's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been great. He might win the Vezina this year, so that if he stays healthy, they can win it. Why do you think Colorado is going to win, Gil?
Goaltending.
Yeah,
so,
it's
like I said,
goaltending. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then they have McKinnon there. They have a great core of guys. Score him some goals, and he's going to win you the cup.
And nothing would please me more than watching Nazem Kadri lift the cup. That would just I would just put that all over my page and just watch him skate around and then point to the camera and just I would love to see that.
And bring the cup back to Toronto like everybody else does.
Just on the Leafs, John Tavares better show up this year because he's been a huge disappointment in Toronto. And he's going to have to show up for the Leafs to do any damage in the playoffs. So he's got to show up for Toronto. I think he's the key to them winning any series offensively outside of.
Isn't that why they got Joe Thornton? Come on.
Yeah, because he can't be a captain. Yeah, well, that's another story for another day.
Listen, you don't have to be a leader. If you have a C on your chest, doesn't mean that you have to be outspoken and stuff like that. You show your thing on the ice. Okay, he
hasn't shown it on the ice, though. Okay, that's the problem.
Last year, he did have a bad playoff series, but against the Washington and the other series before that, he played well. You can't bash him on that. Against the Washington series, he played well.
He didn't play in the Washington series.
No, sorry, Boston. The Boston series.
Boston.
Yeah, he played well. He was one of the best players on the team. Yeah. Last year was Austin Matthews. 100% was Austin Matthews. Yeah. But hey, you can't just bash one guy.
Yeah.
The rest of the team couldn't fucking score a goal last year against Coppersolo. It was embarrassing.
I just think that jersey's probably cursed. I don't know. That's what I think. I just feel like whoever wears that, you could bring the best players. It just knocks the goodness out of them. I think the jersey's just cursed. I don't know.
It's not cursed.
Players leave and win cups elsewhere. Yeah.
It's too much weight on your shoulders. That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, that's our show. We went a little bit long because Gil was making his debut and we really wanted to get him involved in the show. He is going to be back. Believe me, we are going to talk Portugal. We are going to talk his Spurs. We're going to even talk about his Devils and his Packers. We're also, and I'm going to say this now, hoping that these guys agree, but we're also going to have an NFL pick show. We're going to make our picks, best 3 picks, Saturday, maybe Sunday morning. We're going to do that when the NFL season starts. We'll keep our records, see how that goes. And yeah, that's right. See, we're going to do that, and then everyone can see how good we are or how bad we are. And then we'll do Euros. We'll have a preview of these Portuguese guys over here, hoping for their team in the group of death. I'm going to talk about my Italian soccer team. And as the playoffs go on, we'll talk more about the playoffs. We'll also talk about the Raptors, their season ending, their unbelievably horrific season. Just horrible. One of the worst seasons I've ever watched. Yes, they played on the road all year at Tampa Bay, but they were horrible this year. I'm doing my grade show on Sunday with the other guys, Brian and Skip, and you'll see exactly how I feel about them, and Gil will love that.
Let me ask you something. What did you expect from the Raptors with the team that they had this year anyway?
I expected a much better effort from the players, the coach. I didn't expect them to quit mid-season. But I'll get into that when I talk about them on Sunday.
Well, now, Jose, there was guys that were saying Anunoby was compared to Kawhi Leonard. So you're telling me they're not expecting? No. To me, that's not even a debate because that's horrible. Because Anunoby's nothing to an elite player in the NBA.
Not yet.
He's not yet. He can reach to that point. He can reach to that point.
I don't see it.
You don't see it, but hey, there's other people that see it.
Next year is a big year for him.
Whatever.
All right, guys. We got to cut this off, but I want to thank Gil and Jose for coming on the show. We're going to have them back. It looks like Gil has his whole setup. He has the best setup of anyone I've seen on the show so far. So he's ready to go.
I had to steal this from my kids.
He had to steal the headphones from his kids. It took me 2 weeks and people online making him to come on the show, telling him to come on the show. Vito, you better watch this episode. It's about 30 minutes. You better watch, buddy. Okay? And before we run out of time, I want to thank the guys for coming on. And we'll have Gil back very soon. Hopefully he doesn't have to work late and he can have his daughter's headphones again. And Jose, even though you're kind of messed up there, thanks for coming on anyway.
No problem, buddy. Sorry about this, but I'm on my way to work, so, hey,
You got to give the people what they want. We gave them Gil Santos.
Exactly.
So, thank you all for watching. Subscribe. Please share the video. Please let us know what you think. Go on the YouTube page, put your comments there. I love getting comments on my phone from guys, but put them on the page as well so we get some debates and comments going. Let us know what you think. Let me know who you want to have on the show. I'm trying to get more guys on the show, but it's hard to get people on the show. But hopefully this is something we can do more often. Until next time, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next Reece Report.